Welcome to the deep dive. We're jumping straight into something pretty significant today, happening in decentralized finance and taxes.
Yeah, big news. You flagged this development, and it centers on something that happened just yesterday, April 10th, 2025.
Right. President Trump signed a joint congressional resolution.
Exactly. And that resolution, well, it effectively repealed a pretty recent IRS rule. That's what we need to get into.
Okay, so our mission for this dive, figure out what this rule is all about, and importantly, why does its repeal matter to, folks listening?
Precisely. So this rule, the one that got repealed, its main goal was to extend tax reporting requirements.
To DeFi platforms. It's like crypto lending and trading spots.
Exactly those. The ones often without the usual middlemen. The IRS wanted them to start collecting and reporting info on user transactions.
Sort of like how my bank tells the IRS about the interest I earn, that kind of thing.
You got it.
Yeah.
Very similar concept. They wanted more visibility into certain DeFi activities for tax purposes.
So, okay, if that rule hadn't been repealed yesterday, what would that have looked like for someone using DeFi?
Well, DeFi platforms probably would needed to scramble, really, build new systems to track user data, report it back to the IRS.
And for me, the user.
It could have meant more complicated tax forms, potentially, maybe more scrutiny on your DeFi dealings. But it's why this got repealed that's interesting.
Yeah, you mentioned it was called contentious. Why? What was the big problem? And Congress acted fast, didn't they?
They did. There were a few big reasons for the pushback. One huge one was just the technical side. DeFi is diverse, often pseudonymous.
Right. Tracking everything on decentralized systems sounds tricky.
Extremely tricky, maybe even impossible in some cases, without fundamentally changing how these platforms work. That was a core argument.
Okay, what else?
Another key point, pushed hard by the industry itself, was that these rules could, stifle innovation.
The classic argument, that it could push activity elsewhere.
Exactly. Drive it to places with, shall we say, less oversight? Seems like Congress listened to those concerns.
Okay, so bringing it back to our listener, someone may be using DeFi platforms right now, what's the immediate takeaway from this repeal?
The immediate thing is status quo, mostly. For now, those specific extended tax reporting requirements won't be hitting DeFi platforms.
So the way I interact with DeFi, tax reporting-wise, from the platform side, stays the same.
Largely, yes. At least concerning the specific rule that was just repealed, it removes that particular compliance hurdle for platforms.
But this feels, I don't know, like one battle, not the whole war, maybe. Does this mean the discussion about regulating DeFi is over?
Oh, definitely not. Not at all. This repeal, it really just highlights this ongoing dance, maybe, between new tech like DeFi and the existing regulatory world.
So a specific rule is gone, but the underlying tension remains.
Absolutely. Governments, regulators, they're still going to be looking at DeFi, thinking about tax, investor protection, all of it. This specific approach was just rejected.
Okay, so summing up for everyone listening, this particular IRS reporting rule for DeFi platforms is off the table because of that congressional resolution signed yesterday.
Correct. Your immediate interaction regarding that specific reporting probably won't change.
But the bigger picture, how DeFi fits into the whole regulatory system, that's still very much up in the air.
Exactly. And that leaves us with a final thought, really. What does this move signal about the future? Is it a sign of a lighter touch approach or just a pause before the next attempt at regulation?
Something to keep thinking about as this whole digital finance landscape keeps evolving.
Definitely something to watch.